Okay, so please allow me to wax Poetic here for a bit, because it's rare that I get to take something like this for a test drive. Gaming monitors are windows to other worlds. They're these portals that we see through to live out fantasies, embark on epic quests, chase the thrill, or just exist at a different point in space and time, albeit digitally, to get some escape or reprieve from our real, physical world. I've always preferred my window, the monitor, to be a super ultrawide because it affords me to see just a little bit more of the worlds I like visiting. But a box came in today that not only offers me a bigger window, but a clearer one as well. Unfortunately, the box does not fit my desk, so we're moving on to this top view right here. And yes, those are my feet and tabby socks. Don't worry, I know you usually have to pay for that kind of content, but here on my channel it's free. Jokes aside, this box is the one that we're interested in today. Inside this box is the ROG Swift PG49WCD Super Ultrawide QD-OLED Gen 2 monitor. Let's get it unboxed. But before we continue with the video, ASUS would like you to know that their Cool for School promo is now up and running. If you're in the Philippines, make sure you get geared up and ready for the coming school year with great deals and bundles worth up to 40,000 pesos. Score amazing deals on laptops that'll make sure you get all you need done and more. From their entry-level friendly Chromebook and VivoBook series to the OLED-powered ZenBook series all the way up to the powerhouses from ROG like the Zephyrus G15 and Duo 16, everything is on offer. And for the first time, the ROG Ally and the ROG Phone 8 are now part of the bundles that you can avail. The promo runs from June 1 to August 15, 2024. Make the most out of the ASUS Cool for School promo by visiting the link in the description. That's it, let's get back to the video. As we open up the box, we can see that the entire monitor is sandwiched between two humongous styrofoam molds to protect it from bumps during shipping, of course. Also, while I unbox this, please keep in mind that this is a media, display, and demo unit, so some contents of the box might not be there, or there might be minor additions that you will not find in your box when you do purchase one. And of course, this has passed through other hands before mine. Alright, first up we have a bag of accessories. Inside we have a DisplayPort cable, ROG stickers, two HDMI 2.1 compatible cables, paperwork that says that you need 2 people to safely install this monitor, and of course the power cable. There was another additional DisplayPort cable here, but I think that's for the demo package. Next up, we have the neck of the stand, which feels pretty hefty in the hand and is much larger than usual. Definitely because this is a heavy monitor. It supports height, left and right rotation, and up and down tilt. Next, we have the base. It's a tripod-style base that extends pretty far and pretty forward underneath the monitor to catch its weight. It has a single captive screw at the bottom to attach it to the neck of the stand. Next is the VESA adapter. This is such a good thing for me since I mount my main monitor to the wall. Alright, taking out the top layer of styrofoam reveals the monitor wrapped in waxed plastic to protect it from fingerprints and scuffs during installation. ROG suggests that you assemble the neck and base first, then snap it to the back of the monitor and use that as a carry anchor when you're going to install the monitor. Don't put any weight on the OLED screen. It is very sensitive and it might crack. So yeah, I did what ROG suggested. I had to flip the box around first though because I had the monitor the wrong way around. Once I've snapped that on and made sure the connection was secure, I was able to lift the monitor from the bottom styrofoam mold and place it on my table. And here it is, or at least the back of the ROG PG49WCD. This is the only time I can take videos of the back since I will be mounting this to the wall. But yeah, take a look at that styling. Way different from the consistently thick Legion Y44W10 that I previously used. It seems like all of the electronics are concentrated in the middle here, and the QD-OLED panel just stretches out wide past it. Control of the monitor is at the back, in the middle of the chin, and it has a nipple navigation joystick at the middle with 2 buttons flanking it. That's also where you can find the 3.5mm audio jack and USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A data and charging port. As we can see here, at the bottom of the right side, we can see the HDMI 2.1 port, the DisplayPort 1.4, and the USB-C input that can do DisplayPort in and charge connected devices up to 90 watts. At the other side, we can see a super speed USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type B, a USB 2.0, and another USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A. This group of ports are for its built-in KVM switch, where you can connect two systems to it, and the PG49WCD will handle the input for the mouse and keyboard for both systems. You can even transfer files. But I am not going to be covering the KVM feature because I just don't have two systems that I can connect to this to test it out. It feels like a very first world solution to a very first world problem for me. I live in the Philippines. It's a third world country out here. Anyways. And lastly, for ports that we're not used to having, we have the SPDIF out for high fidelity audio. Remember, the ROG PG49WCD does not have built-in speakers, so be sure to invest in some good speakers or headphones if you're planning to get this monitor. Another one of those ports is up here at the top, with this red cover here. It's a lone USB 2.0 Type A for if you want to connect your webcam or camera and don't want to have a long cable run for it. It's pretty useful. There is also an RGB LED array here at the back, but I am not going to cover it now. It's not bright enough to be a bounce light if you're mounting the monitor to a wall, nor is it visible to you, the user. I'd probably just keep this turned off. This is pretty ridiculous, ROG. Anyway, alright, that's everything at the back. Let's get it hung up on the wall and connected to my system. As you can see, I cleared my previous monitor from its wall mount. It's a 44-inch Legion Super Ultrawide, but the ROG Swift PG49WCD is an even wider 49-incher, so I also have to move my laptop mount farther to the right. Yes, you heard that right. Laptop. I'm running this monitor off of a laptop. But don't fret, it's a pretty strong one. It's the ROG Zephyrus Duo 16 that's running a Ryzen 9 6945HX, 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 3080 Ti. Also, please pardon my drifting camera angle. I wasn't able to tighten the ball mount all the way. Alright, here's the ROG PG49WCD all hooked up. While I get it set up for use, let's talk a bit about the specs. So the ROG Swift PG49WCD is a 49-inch 32:9 Super Ultrawide monitor. It's curved with an 1800R angle. It has a 10-bit HDR QD-OLED Gen 2 panel, which has a 5120x1440p resolution coming in at 109 ppi. Brightness maxes out at 1000 nits. It runs at a maximum refresh rate of 144 Hz with a 0.03 millisecond response time. It has a built-in KVM switch, and it supports 90 watts USB-C power delivery to connected devices. Did you get all that? Well, it's got a lot more features that I won't be able to cover in this video. So if you're interested in knowing more, I've linked the product page in the video description. Alright, since producing and releasing this video, I was able to have and test the ROG Swift PG49WCD for a little over a month. And while I'm not a professional monitor reviewer, nor do I have the tools to properly demonstrate all the capabilities of the monitor, I'm still going to be giving you the lowdown on my full experience. But do take note that it's written from the perspective of a professional video editor and gamer that's used to working on a super ultrawide monitor. Since I'll be writing this part based on experience, I found little value in playing games on the PG49WCD that I didn't really play on a regular basis. I don't play Call of Duty, and I haven't touched Cyberpunk 2077 since I finished Phantom Liberty, so I stuck with what I know. Forza Horizon 5, Battlefield 2042, Starfield, Fallout 76, and good old RuneScape 3. Yes, I played RuneScape on this monitor. It looked good, but it didn't fill out the screen, but yeah. First off, I immediately felt the jump in visual clarity and contrast. Look, I'm making a huge, albeit temporary, upgrade from a 3840 by 1200 LCD 400 nits panel to a 5120 by 1440 QD-OLED Gen 2 1000 nits panel. Only the blind won't be impressed with that kind of jump in visuals. The difference in saturation and contrast are night and day. Intense sequences in games felt way more clear, and my appreciation of great vistas in games have gone up tenfold. It's just an absolute treat to play on, given that you can run your games at max settings on good frame rates. I wasn't able to do that reliably all of the time. Sometimes the 3080 can't handle it, but anyways. Creature comforts for the screen are pretty solid too. At first, I was controlling the fine-tuning of visuals via the joystick at the back, but I quickly learned that I can control the OSD on the system via the ASUS Display Widget Center app. It just simplified everything for me, and I was able to have quicker, finer control of the monitor settings through it. This is also where I was able to control the OLED care settings for the monitor. From the pixel shift, where every once in a while the monitor will shift the entire image one pixel to a direction, like left or right, just to be able to refresh the pixels, to the pixel cleaning feature where I can track the panel health. I know this is something that kind of feels burdensome and is basically non-existent with IPS and TN panels, but do remember that OLED is relatively new to the gaming monitor space, and we've yet to see a long-term solution to pixel fatigue and burn-in, so it's much appreciated to have these options easy to access. So yeah, while I do love those things about the ROG Swift PG49WCD, there are still some downsides to it that I would be remiss not to mention in this video. Let me list off some of them now. I'm still not fully sold on OLED panels having gloss finishes. While I do enjoy it while I'm editing and coloring videos, the PG49WCD is not a professional grade color reference monitor. It does have an sRGB mode, but it's not calibrated to industry standards, nor did I try to set it up as such. Because it's not a color reference monitor, nor does it sell itself to be one. So I did my best to just enjoy it as a gamer. But yeah, playing in a dark room with this screen blasting onto you and everything at your back, the glossy finish really brings out all the other glossy stuff in your room, or the little lights because you're going to see the reflection on the screen. Also, with this being a QD-OLED Gen 2 screen, it's got variable brightness, meaning the bigger a bright output is on the screen, the lower brightness it will be. And inversely, the smaller a bright output is on the screen, the brighter and more intense it will be. This is an inherent downside of current Gen QD-OLED panels, and ASUS offers a uniform brightness toggle to combat this. Unfortunately, it kind of feels like you're kneecapping your monitor because it'll just limit everything to around 400 to 500 nits of brightness to get uniform brightness across the entire panel. I suggest turning it on when using the monitor for browsing and working, just so you can lessen your eye fatigue, and you can turn it off when you're playing games or looking at high contrast images or watching movies or long-form videos. I find that it performs better visually that way, and it doesn't feel like I'm kneecapping the monitor. Look, I only had the ROG Swift PG49WCD for a little over a month, and now I'm back to using my old IPS Super Ultrawide. But I already miss it. It was a fantastical glimpse into my gaming worlds through a crystal clear 49-inch $1,300 window. Man, I gotta save up because I want one of those now. Is it worth your money? To me it is. If you're upgrading from an old IPS or a TN, there's just a few downsides, but the jump in visual fidelity and enjoyment of the image, it's just there. It's pretty amazing. It might not be such of an upgrade if you're using a QD-OLED Gen 1 panel. So yeah, if you already have that, I'll probably tell you to wait until Gen 3. Links are in the description if you want to get one for yourself. So that's the ROG Swift OLED PG49WCD Super Ultrawide Gaming Monitor. Do you have any questions about it? Leave them down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. While you're there, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps out a lot. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.